Alright you guys, so just here doing a review for the AlphaESS BlackBee 2000 portable power station. I already did do a review for their BlackBee 1000 power station, which was a lower tier one from this one, but this is basically an upgraded version. You can find the full review for the BlackBee 1000 power station in the description of this video, and also you can just take a look at my channel as well. But yeah, for this BlackBee 2000 power station, it has a 2203 watt hour capacity and a 1600 watt continuous max output and a 3000 watt peak output. And so if you're buying this power station, I mean, if you're thinking about buying any power station really, you probably know what you're looking for. And I have to say off the bat that this power station still uses lithium ion batteries. So if you're looking for a lithium iron phosphate power station only to spend your money on, this might not be it. However, I have been testing out this BlackBee 2000 power station, and I'm impressed by what it can do. With its overall specs and its like output ports. But of course, many power stations are converting to lithium iron phosphate batteries, but this one does not feature that at this time, at least. Maybe they might do a upgraded version of this and just convert over to lithium iron phosphate. I recommend AlphaESS does that. But yeah, anyways. What's included in the box with this power station is this Anderson cable that has these two connectors, and also you can just connect this end into the dual Anderson port at the back, and I'll be showing that in just a second. But yeah, this is a pretty cool cable to have, and I do have two of AlphaESS's 300 watt solar panels, and I will be testing out the solar recharging for this power station that has a 600 watt max solar input. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And you also get the manual, of course, a 12-month warranty card, as well as a AC charging cable. This power station does use that direct connection AC recharging method, and with this AC charging cable, you're able to recharge the 2203 watt hour capacity at 350 watts. That is one of the fastest recharge speeds I know of with a power station. I know EcoFlow Delta power stations have like a max input of about 1200 watts, so it's really awesome to see that you're able to recharge this even faster. And so yeah, I mean, let's just put this all aside and let's take a closer look at the power station itself. All right, so right off the bat, of course, this is a large and heavy power station. When you're dealing with like power stations within the 1000 watt hour or higher capacity range, they're going to be large and heavy. You're not going to be able to hold them for a very long time. This BlackBee 2000 power station does have a 17 by 11 by 13 inch form factor, and it weighs about 48.5 pounds. Thankfully, it does have these handles right at the top that make it easier to pick it up. And every time I pick it up, I have to brace myself because 48.5 pounds is pretty darn heavy. And yeah, at the front, this is where you're going to be spending most of your time. This is the power button that you have to hold down to turn on the BlackBee 2000. There we go. And this screen is a heavy upgrade from their previous BlackBee 1000 model. Shows you a lot more specs. It doesn't show you too many newer specs, but it's just bigger and better to look at, in my opinion. These are the buttons for the sections. Once you press this DC section button, the DC section turns on. The AC outlet section turns on with the AC button. And this is for the USB charging ports. And so yeah, the screen is able to show the output wattage, the estimated runtime as well. Thank God. I love it when power stations show the estimated runtime. It's just a really neat quality of life feature. It shows the battery capacity remaining in a percentage form. And over on this side, it does show the wattage input, and also estimated recharge time when I'm recharging the power station. And I'll be showing the recharging as well, so you'll be able to see that too. So for the DC section, you get a 12 volt 10 amp cigarette lighter port with the cover, of course. You get two DC barrel ports, one with a 12 volt 5 amp and one with a 12 volt 3 amp output. And these are the four AC outlets right over here that have the 1600 watt continuous maxed output. And also I have done testing with this power station, and I've gone over the 1600 watt continuous output, and the power station is able to run continuously over the 1600 watts for a while, but then it shuts off automatically. So yeah, this basically does have a hard limit at 1600 watts. But yeah, I mean, it's good to know that that is pure sine wave. I will be testing out if it's actually pure sine wave or not. And these are the charging ports, 4 USB Type A quick charge ports, which is really nice, and 2 USB-C power delivery ports that output 60 watts. In my opinion, it would have been better to have 100 watt power delivery ports, considering that this is a insanely high capacity power station. 100 watts for like this high capacity, it's more of the standard at this point. That's what I would expect. I'm going to be testing out the charging ports as well. Over at the top, you do get the 2 wireless charging pads that the previous BlackBee 1000 power station had as well. Each of these charging pads are able to output 10 watts, so you can fast wirelessly charge most wireless charging compatible phones. Taking a look over at this side, I'm gonna have to move around. I can't really move around the power station because it's so heavy. Yeah, so this is the vent for the internal fan. Over on this side, you get 2 panels. This panel right over here, you just put this lever down and this one down as well, and it shows the AC input port and the Anderson input port for solar recharging, and this is where you would use the this Anderson cable that came with the power station. And yeah, I'll be showing that how to use that in this review too. And just to put it back, just gotta put them in the right spot. Okay, there we go. Close that up. And this right over here, this is just a compartment where you can just place things in. This is where you can place the AC charging cable, the Anderson port, the manual maybe. And so yeah, this is a nice compartment where you can just place accessories of the power station for. And yeah, that's just really nice to have. Over on this side, it just has the same vent for the internal fan. And yeah, I mean, gotta say, I like how the power station looks. I really like the bright yellow and black combo. It just looks really nice. And yeah, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and start testing it out, see how it performs. Oh yeah, there is also a eco mode for this power station, because right now it's on just normal mode. I don't have an eco mode turned on right now. And if you want to turn eco mode on, just hold down the AC power button, and the eco mode turns on right there. And so what eco mode is that if the AC output is 6 watts or lower, the power station will shut off automatically in 4 hours. And if the DC and USB section output is 2 watts or lower, the power station will shut off automatically after 12 hours. So if you have a tendency to just have the power station turned on and not have any appliances or devices plugged into it, I would recommend having eco mode on with this power station. But if you want it to just constantly be on no matter what you're powering or not powering, you can just turn off eco mode and just have the power station constantly run no matter what. It's just a nice feature to have if you have a tendency to forget that you have a appliance plugged in at a really low wattage, or if you have nothing plugged in. And it's just a good way to save the power capacity of the power station. And so yeah, just a nice feature to have in case you need it. So yeah, for testing, I'm going to start out with the charging ports as always with most of my power station reviews, and then we'll move on to the AC outlets and just do some general appliance testing, and then I'll move on to some AC capacity testing and DC capacity testing. And yeah, we'll just see how it performs, and I'll show you guys the recharging as well as we move on. All right, let's get to it. All right, you guys, so just back charging 5 devices from the charging port section on this BlackBee 2000 power station. And I've got to say that charging power from the ports is a bit disappointing, because I have these 3 phones charging from 3 USB type A quick charge ports. A Galaxy A51 is standard charging, the LG G7 is standard charging, and the Note 9 is also standard charging. I mean, they're all charging from quick charge ports, so they all should be able to fast charge, and they're not. However, when I unplug like 2 phones and leave this Galaxy Note 9 plugged in, the Note 9 would start fast charging. So I suppose you're only able, well, I mean, with my testing at least, I'm only able to fast charge a single phone at a time from the quick charge ports right over here, these 4 ports here. Not too sure why. And also for the USB-C power delivery ports, the good news is that I'm recharging this Excitris power bank at 60 watts as it should be recharging at, because it's recharging from a 60 watt power delivery port. So that's working optimally right there. However, my Lenovo laptop is only charging at about 12.5 watts from the other power delivery 60-watt port. It should be charging at about 30 watts. Because 30 watts is its max input, and it's about like 50% charged, so it shouldn't be slowly charging currently. So I mean, charging power could use some improvement. I mean, it isn't performing as it says it would. I suppose there is a max output on this charging section, but I couldn't find anything in the manual. Let me just double check on that real quick again, because yeah, I mean, looking at the charging port section right over here, the USB type A quick charge ports, it says 36 watts each for the USB type A ports. So I mean, I don't think there should be any excuses on why my phones aren't fast charging. For the USB-C power delivery ports, 60 watts each right there. So I think they should have noted that there is a max output limit for the USB charging section, because the charging ports should be amazing. In this case, all three of these phones should be fast charging, and my Lenovo laptop should be charging at about 30 watts. But yeah, I mean, it's just chugging along. The charging port section, I expected more. I expected what the specifications said that they featured. But yeah, that is the charging port section for the BlackBee 2000 power station. And let's move on to testing out the AC outlet section. This is where you're going to be spending most of your time with this power station in the first place. And let me get some appliances together, and we'll start testing out how much we can just pull, what appliances we can power with it, and just really pushing it to its limits to see what this thing is capable of. All right, let's get to it. Oh, and I almost forgot to test out the wireless charging pads at the top. And so I've got my Galaxy Note 9 charging from the left one. It is fast wirelessly charging from it, because both of these charging pads are able to output 10 watts. And I've got my LG G7 right over here. Let me just pop that on right over here. And this one should also be able to fast wirelessly charge as well. Just gotta wait for it. Yeah, there we go. Fast charging wirelessly and fast charging wirelessly for my Galaxy Note 9 right here. So one thing that I did find strange is that the DC section is what controls the charging pads being powered on or not. So you do have to have the DC section turned on, not the USB section. Just something strange I found. I think it would have made more sense to have the charging pads be powered on when you have the USB section turned on. But yeah, it's whatever. I mean, if I turn off the USB section, both these phones are going to stop wirelessly charging, as you can see. And so yeah, wireless charging does work how it's supposed to. As you saw, I was able to fast charge both of them using the wireless charging pads. And so yeah, anyways, let's get to testing out appliances with the AC outlets. Alright guys, so for the first AC outlet section test, I've got this Lasco heater, I've got a heat gun. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to power the Lasco heater up to its low and high setting, let that run for a little bit, and I'm going to try to push the power station even more by powering this heat gun all the way to full power, just to see how long of a runtime I can get once the power station goes over its 1600 watt continuous max output. And so yeah, let's just get to it right now. Let me set this Lasco heater to high. I'm just gonna set it to high. We're not gonna even bother with low. It should be able to handle high with no problems, because I think at its high setting, the Lasco heater has about a 1300 watt output, and as you can see, it is rising pretty quickly. And also you can see the estimated runtime is 1 hour. I would expect it to be higher than that, but then again, I do have it at 73%. So yeah, all right. And so yeah, it seems like the wattage output for the Lasco heater has leveled out. Let me turn on the heat gun to see how it's able to fare. Oh, oops. Let me just do this. There we go. Okay. So, and also I've got this stopwatch that I'm going to turn on once the wattage output goes above 1600 watts, just to see the runtime that we can get once it goes over 1600 watts. But anyways, let me turn on the heat gun. I've got it set to low right now, and let's just kick it up to high. Alright, it's going to keep going up on the temperature now. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, let me set that stopwatch to see how long we can stay above 1600 watts until the power station turns off. Okay, we maxed out the heat gun, and the heater is still running. Alright, and so we're at about 40 seconds right now. All right, so I'm just gonna keep everything running, and I'll be right back. Oh, okay, there we go. My bad. And so yeah, I mean, there you have it. The power station was at about 2300 watts and decided to shut off after about a minute. So yeah, I mean, that was impressive. Let me do another test with the power station outputting 1600 watts continuously for about maybe 10 minutes to see if it's actually able to output 1600 watts continuously. And yeah, let me get that test going as well. I will be right back. Alright guys, so I do have the power station set to about 1600 watts. I'm going to let it run for maybe 10 minutes. Well, if it at least gets to 10 minutes, that is. And I'll come back to see if the heater and the heat gun are still running. And I will be right back. Alright guys, so we are at the 10-minute mark, well 10 minutes and 30 seconds. And the heat gun and the heater are still running. And the power station is still outputting at about 1600 watts. And so yeah, I mean, it was still able to run continuously with a 1600 watt output as it says it is able to. And I'm confident that it would be able to run the heat gun and the heater continuously until the power capacity reached 0%. And yeah, there we go. Oh, wait, let me just turn this off now so you can hear me. And so yeah, what I'm going to do now is just have fun testing out appliances using the AC outlets, and then we're going to test out the recharging. I'll do a AC capacity test and a DC capacity test. And yeah, just get to testing it out, see how it performs with other appliances. And let me test out if this actually is able to output a pure sine wave. All right, and if you're curious about if this power station is really able to output a pure sine wave, it is. As you can see, I connected the multimeter, and it's outputting a pure sine wave, just as the specifications says it's able to. And so yeah, let me get to testing out some other appliances, and then we'll move on to AC and DC capacity testing to see how much efficiency I'm able to pull from this BlackBee 2000. Alright you guys, so just back with the electric cooktop. I'm just going to be boiling 4 cups of water right over here in the saucepan. This is a test I've done for other power stations as well, and I have no doubts that this BlackBee 2000 is going to be able to power this electric cooktop with no problems, because this cooktop is rated for like 1000 watts, and the power station is rated to continuously output 1600 watts through its AC outlets. And so yeah, I mean, I already know that this power station is going to be able to power this electric cooktop, but it's just to demonstrate what this power station is capable of. I can place the saucepan right over here, and I'm going to come back once the water starts boiling. Just a reminder that this is 4 cups of water right here. The power station is putting out 800 watts. We've got a 2-hour usage time. And so yeah, I'll be right back once the water starts boiling to see if it's actually able to fully power this electric cooktop continuously. Alright guys, so the water in the saucepan is boiling, and we started at about 95% and we're down to 89%, just to give you some perspective on how much capacity it would take to boil 4 cups of water. And so yeah, no surprises there. This BlackBee 2000 can easily power an electric cooktop within the 1000 range and even the 1500 watt range. If you're looking for even more power with a electric cooktop, you can power a 1500 watt one, and that's going to be able to power from this BlackBee 2000 with no problems at all. But of course, that will deplete capacity a lot faster. And so yeah, there we go. Alright you guys, so just doing a microwave test right over here. I've got this LG microwave that's rated for about 1000 watts. I think it said over at the back that it does have a 1000 watt max output. And I've just got some rice inside the microwave. I'm just going to time it for maybe 1 minute. Oh, that's not it. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to time it for 1 minute and just see how it performs, and if this power station is able to power a microwave. And yeah, let's get started. Start that. Oh boy. Ooh, 1500 watts. Okay. So I guess the 1000 watts was a lie. I don't know, but anyways, yeah, this microwave is definitely putting the power station through its paces, but everything is going smoothly for now. We're at 35 seconds now. All right, there we go. So yeah, you can power a microwave using this BlackBee 2000 power station. It handled it with no problems. I think the fan for the power station did turn on, or was that the microwave? I don't know. I didn't hear any fan from the power station, or at least I didn't think I did. But yeah, there we go. That is the microwave test for the BlackBee 2000, and I'm just gonna end it right there for the appliance testing. For the unit, I'm just gonna move on to the let me show you guys the recharging and also do a AC capacity and DC capacity test for the unit. And so yeah, let's get to it. All right, guys, so just doing a AC capacity test for this BlackBee 2000 power station. I am using this Lasco heater on its high setting. We're pulling about 1280 watts, and I've had it running for a few minutes right now. Currently have it down to 97%. I'm just going to run it down to 0% to see how much AC capacity I can actually pull, which is the capacity that you can actually use of the 2203 watt hour capacity of this power station. So yeah, I mean, I just have the watt meter connected to the unit right here to actually measure the watt hours we can actually use, and I'll be right back. Alright, you guys, so just back with the BlackBee 2000 power station at 0% after running this Lasco heater at its high setting, which had a 1250 watt draw of power. And as you can see, the unit is at 0% right there. And so what I ended up with was a 1990 watt hour capacity, and that gave me a 90% efficiency rating through the AC outlets, which is really good because not too many power stations that I've reviewed have had this high of a efficiency rating. I'm pretty sure one or two power stations have had this type of efficiency through their AC outlets. But yeah, this is pretty awesome to see. So you're able to use most of the capacity of this BlackBee 2000 power station through its AC outlets, that is. And as you can see on the watt meter as well, which is what I was using to measure the output power with 1.99 kilowatt hours, which translates into 1990 watt hours. And so yeah, AC efficiency is pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and test out the DC capacity as well to see how that fares, and I will be right back. Alright, you guys, so just recharging the BlackBee 2000 power station using the included AC charging cable and the AC input over at the back of the unit. And so it does have a 1250 watt input speed, which is really fast. I think occasionally it goes up to 1350 watts, depending on if the battery capacity is low enough. But yeah, I mean, this is a really fast recharging speed. You know, most modern power stations are starting to use this direct AC input recharging method, and it's just really useful, especially for these high capacity power stations, because in this case, for a 2203 watt hour capacity, recharging at about 1250 watts, you're going to be able to get this back to full power within about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I think it's more close to 2 hours in my testing that I've done when I've depleted the capacity for this unit and having to recharge it back to full power. I think it's more like 2 hours, which is still pretty impressive for such a high capacity. So yeah, I mean, that is the AC recharging right there. As for the solar recharging, I will be doing that in a separate video because honestly, I got to get this video out and published for you guys to view. But I will be doing the solar recharging test using the AlphaESS 300 watt solar panels in a separate video. So just keep a lookout for that. And also, I was going to test out if this unit has passive charging, and unfortunately, it does not feature AC pass-through charging, so you cannot use the AC outlets while you're recharging this unit. So that's a pretty big letdown. Honestly, I was really disappointed by that because most modern power stations do feature AC pass-through charging, but this one does not. Because when I press the AC button right over here, it does not turn on the AC outlets. And also when I had the AC section turned on and I plugged in the AC recharging cable, the AC section automatically turned off, and so you're not able to use the AC outlets while you're recharging the power station. You know, that's just, I'm really disappointed by that, but you know, it is what it is. And so yeah, I'm just gonna wait until it reaches back to 100%. And also, as you can see, it has the estimated recharge time. All right, I will be right back. All right, you guys, so I did recharge the BlackBee 2000 back to its full capacity, and now I'm running the DC capacity test using this MakerHawk load tester. I just had it running for about 2 minutes and 30 seconds so far. We're getting about a 115 watt output with the load tester. And so I'm just going to come back when the BlackBee 2000 is at 0% to see how much of that capacity I can pull from the DC circuit lighter port, and I will be right back. Alright guys, so after about 15 hours and 50 minutes, I did run down the capacity down to 0% for the BlackBee 2000 for the DC capacity test. And so what I ended up with was a 1832 watt hour capacity, and that gave me a 83% efficiency rating. So a little bit lower than the AC capacity efficiency. Not too sure why, but yeah, there we go. So I had the load tester running at about 120 watts constantly, and the power station was able to last for about 16 hours. So that just gives you an idea of how long the unit can last with a 120 watt output going on. And so yeah, there we go. That is the DC capacity test for the BlackBee 2000 power station. All right, you guys. So just some final thoughts for the AlphaESS BlackBee 2000 power station. I like the power station. It is a beast. It has a high capacity, a high output. But when you compare it to the competition, there could be some improvements. Like this power station should be using lithium iron phosphate at this point for this high caliber of a power station. The charging ports could use some work by having a higher max output with them. It could use passive charging as well, because passive charging is just something that you would expect from a power station this powerful. And so yeah, I mean, it's just the little things that this power station can improve on. I'm not saying it's a bad one, but it could use some tweaks, especially with the use of lithium iron phosphate batteries. That's what a lot of consumers are looking for when they do buy a power station at this point. Because I know consumers in this part of the market, they're really smart. Like they know what to look for. At least for the most part. I know there's a part of the market for power stations where people just buy whatever they want to because it's just it uses electricity and it's not a gas generator, and they don't really care about that. But in my opinion, it should just make those tweaks, and I think they should just upgrade it just a bit to have it compete with other brands in the market. As for the build quality of this power station, it's just made of plastic, just like most other power stations are. It has a solid build, because I've been using it for the past 3 weeks, and I haven't had any trouble with the build quality. The fans are actually pretty quiet. That's actually one of the biggest positives of this power station. That's not related to the power output. The fans are rather quiet, I gotta say. Even when recharging or like powering appliances at a high wattage, they're a lot less noisy than EcoFlow power stations. In my opinion, that's at least what I've noticed. I've used the EcoFlow Delta Mini and the Delta 2 power station, and those have very loud fans when you're powering or recharging the unit at high wattage. But this one actually has pretty quiet fans, so I think that's a pretty big positive. And also the screen for this unit is a lot more helpful than their previous model. Because this screen is large, it's bright. You're going to be able to see it on a sunny day, most likely, and also displays the power capacity percentage, the output input wattage, and also the estimated runtime and the estimated recharge time. So I like the screen. The screen is like one of the best parts of this power station as well. And so down in the description below, I will have a link to the review article as well as a link to the product page for this AlphaESS BlackBee 2000 power station. And also I will be doing a review for the 300 watt solar panels from AlphaESS using this BlackBee 2000 to show you guys the 600 watt max solar input for this unit. But I couldn't fit it into this review because I just wanted to get this review out to you guys. But yeah, that test video will be released pretty soon, and I will see you all on the next video. All right, goodbye.